discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got, from ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking Shop. Here is your host, ComixDad!
What up, everybody? ComixDad here, and welcome back to another episode of Talkin' Shop. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. You get to see the white boy do the truffle shuffle once again, the fat white boy. But we have another awesome guest here with me this week. But before we get in there real quick, in the chat. Oh, well, it looks like my guest says, I'd like to publicly announce my cancellation of my appearance on Talkin' Shop due to the slanderous presentation of me as a furry. And Boom and Bob goes, wow, he already rage quit the show. Typical Ronin. For the Homies podcast, which Ronin is a part of, says, don't be gay, Ronin. Hail Chat says, Phantom. What's up, Phantom? Cosmortal Comics says, yo, Cosmortal, what's going on, brother? Everybody go check out Cosmortal Comics. My man is on, I believe either you just hit 600 or you're on your way to 600, one or the other. But regardless, go check him out. His channel's awesome as well. Queen Comics Wife says, Runner, I'm going to be completely honest. I did not approve of that thumbnail. In fact, I told him he was awful for doing that. Or, yeah, you know what? Whatever. Nishi, what's going on? And For the Homies says, don't be gay, ComixDad. Well, good thing I'm not. I'm not campy. But anyway, so my guest tonight is a member of the For the Homies podcast. He's also featured on Isaac 556 by 45s or by 45? Yeah, 56. I don't know. Isaac, if you know Isaac, he is a panelist on the Golden Age podcast, aka the Golden Showers podcast. He's also been a panelist on Cole Hauser's channel for the prequel, their Star Wars prequel series that they do, I think monthly or something. So he's part of that as well. Ronan's been making the rounds. He's been having some fun with people, but I mean, I already said his name, so y'all know who my guest is anyway. But ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Ronin the Crusader.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
I am Ronin the Crusdaer, and I am a rage quitter.
Fucking hell, bro.
What up, Ronin?
How many minutes are we in? We're about 6 minutes in, so we're past.
We're good. We're good.
Mark.
Five minute mark. We're good.
ComixDad.
Let it rip.
Fucking monstrous little twat waffle. Oh my god, bro. Well, okay, it's one thing turning me into a furry, but then you do the voiceover furry. Oh god.
And then instead of roaring or yelling, it meows.
Yeah, what the hell? You know, yeah, seriously, like what Hell says in the chat. What the fuck was that?
Well,
but anyways,
well, we're about to explain that real quick. So Ronin, if you do me a favor, if you move to your right just a little bit more.
Oh, god. Just for the chat.
Just to explain. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Ronin's logo behind him. And whenever he's on most streams, this is usually what you get. Ronin with ears. So on a whim, I said, screw it. AI is a wonderful thing. And it's what the doing crap like this is what it's meant for, is what the internet's meant for. So I went into ChatGPT and it was like, took a picture of Ronin, took his logo. I said, hey, ChatGPT, make this guy a fursona or a furry based on this logo. And that's what we got. And also Ronin is known as the ultimate rage quitter. So that's what that was all about.
I will tell the story soon enough, of course, but
Yeah, for
before
sure.
I do, I will go ahead and do my intro. Hello, everybody. Y'all know who I am. I'm Ronin the Crusader, and I'm here with this fat fuck to do this nice little interview to discuss all different kinds of things and to talk a little bit about myself on this man's channel.
Hey, Ronan, like Queenie says, you're an ass. Shame on you, Ronan.
Oh, God.
I know she's talking to me, but I'm just turning it around on you.
You're in the doghouse tonight, I guarantee it.
No, that is proprietary. No, that is proprietary content for ComixDad. So if you want to use it, yeah. So if the homies want to use it, you got to pay me for it.
Oh my God.
Nishi with the actual fuck.
Oh God, man! Why am I friends with all of you people? Why?
Because we are all retarded, just like you.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. My mom did take Tylenol when I was in the belly. So
oh, shit. Hold on a second. Oh, damn it. Okay, hold on.
oh,
I didn't do a thing.
oh,
Or I did a thing.
difficulties.
No, I did a thing. I have two streams going on YouTube at the same time because in Rumble Studio I forgot to switch YouTube off.
Oh,
So I'm streaming to YouTube or I'm streaming to YouTube through Rumble Studio.
Okay.
And through the Studio to actual YouTube itself.
Oh,
Shit.
I see. So there's like 2 consecutive streams going on at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. So like now I gotta go in. I just ended the one, so now I gotta look.
I was gonna
quick.
say, just be careful with what you do because you might end up ending both. You never know.
No. The one is running through the one's running through EV Mux, the other one was running through Rumble Studio. So I just disconnected the one that was running through Rumble Studio.
All right.
But we're doing it live. Fuck it.
All right, I know how to do it, and we're gonna do it live.
And Wayfarer was in there too. Oh man, Wayfarer!
Oh, no!
Make your way out over to this one, Wayfarer.
Send Wayfarer the link.
Somebody message Wayfarer. I want that video. We'll work something out. But all right, so for anybody who's never watched Talkin Shop before, basically how this goes is my guest and I. We sit, we'll talk about comics for a bit. We'll talk about my guest's quote unquote shop. In this case, Ronin, he does streaming and content creation, podcasting, and he plays video games. So we're going to talk about a bunch of that stuff. And then whatever's left over, I don't. Ooh.
Well, contrary to what some people on the internet do, we make sure that here we actually delete our searches.
Yeah.
Make certain of that.
That's why I use VPNs and private browsers.
You'd probably gouge your eyes out if you saw what my search history had.
I mean, it probably looks something like what we saw in the thumbnail and at the end of your intro. So. You're closeted for you are now dubbed Ronin the Crusader. I'm just saying. It's gonna live now. It exists.
I'm kind of happy that I know a couple people that know how to work AI, and I'm kind of happy I'm starting to learn it myself now too, because this shit is gonna get changed soon enough. I'm like, this is it's a placeholder for like a couple years, just so I can show people like real quickly. Okay, what does this dude believe? Oh, what's up, Cole Hauser? Like, it's just basically to show what this dude believes in, like what his politics or what his religion is and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
And instead you get this and we get furry Ronin.
This like people lumping me in the same category as Tobias. I feel how am I still alive right now? I wish God would smite me right now.
Well, I mean, just as badly as like Phantom and the homies want the video and the pictures,
yeah,
just as bad as they want it. If you want it, we'll work out a deal. I'm just saying, we'll work out a deal. The Art of the Deal. I wrote that book. It's such a great book, of course, because it's my book. I know I'm the best at deal making, but
dude, just please don't throw that out there, because I know for a fact Phantom's gonna be like, "Get me that video, Ronin. Get it to me, right, Twitter. Get it." I'm like,
oh, look at that. Cosmortal's feeling bad for you. He goes, I know a chick that could probably do a logo.
Oh, God.
But Cole Hauser, Wayfarer, what's going on? Well, maybe we'll
Oh,
get to that.
jeez
We'll get to some
Christ.
we will
Oh.
get to some Ronin lore after we talk comics and Ronin. So let me
I sh-
star that so this way we have that for later.
I should have never came back. I should have never come back.
But anyway, again, for anybody who's watched the show, I basically explained what we do here. We'll talk comics, we'll talk Ronin and his stuff, and then we'll bullshit about other stuff if there's time.
Mhm.
But first and foremost, we're gonna get into the comic stuff because I wouldn't be ComixDad if we didn't talk comics. So first thing for you, Ronin, is what was like your first initial draw into comics, or maybe what was like your earliest memory of something either comics or comic book related that really kind of got you interested in comics from off the
So
bat?
I know for me, I wasn't super big on comics when I was growing up. I will say the exception obviously was, and I imagine this is probably the first comic that anybody would read who started getting into it, Spider-Man. But it's primarily because of the movies. It was the Sam Raimi films that were coming out in the early 2000s.
Okay.
When I was watching those, I got really interested in like Spider-Man as a whole, but I didn't know where to start when it came to the comics. Um,
Yeah.
one day when I was
Yeah,
young,
there's a lot.
oh yeah, there's a whole lot. But one day when I was with my parents and well, okay, so let me start off by saying this. I happen to be Colombian. I'm a first generation natural born citizen here, but my parents are immigrants, so they had to come on the on the nice little dinghy that's made of wood in order to have a nice life here. But yeah, when they came here, they were starting off kind of like odds jobs and like odds and ends kind of thing, and usually playing into the stereotype, they went and cleaned offices at night when like nobody's working there anymore. One office they went to, they found one issue comic book of Spider-Man. I can't remember
Okay.
what the issue was exactly, but I read it and I read that thing over and over and over. I think it was probably an issue from the early 2000s because I remember seeing like a whole bunch of, and this was around the time when comics still had like advertisements in them.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of advertisements for like Pop Tarts, for Matchbox,
Yep.
Lunchables, all that kind of stuff, right? So obviously they were
Game
gearing the
Boy
comics for
Color,
kids,
Game
yeah.
Boy Advance.
So I read through it and I read it over and over, and that's when I was like, oh man, I wish I could find more like Spider-Man comics. But when the movies were also coming out around the same time, for me, I was like, I kind of like the movies as well. I think the movies will be all right, peace out. Have a good stream. We will definitely not shill the stream. But
Nope.
anyways,
Not showing at
um,
all. Nope.
I remember there was a tie-in comic that actually came out for Spider-Man 3, and they were
Mhm.
offering that comic at the theater as well too. So when we went to watch it, I also picked up that comic, and
Okay.
I read through that one as well too. It was like a nice little prologue as to why Flint Marko was arrested in the first place. Um, but other than that, I wasn't super big on comics like throughout my middle school and high school year. I hadn't actually continued reading comics. I was more into books instead. I was reading a whole ton of different books like the Hunger Games series. I was reading through the Mortal Instruments books.
Oh.
Yeah, like
You
the young
you
adult kind
were
of stuff
yeah,
basically.
okay, so
Because
you were like the boring gay nerd. Gotcha. Gotcha.
unfortunately, but I mean, no, actually, no. There's one exception to that.
Okay.
I was in band class.
Don't say
Okay,
Twilight.
no, 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 no. I knew for a fact I would never touch Twilight with a 20-foot pole, but I was
It's
in
okay.
band
I
class,
was
and
in
that makes
band
it
too.
kind of
It's okay.
fun.
I was
But
in band too, but
but
I at least read comics. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, but my fascination, like actually wanting to get into comics, only started, I would say, around 2020, I think it was
okay.
when the lockdowns were going on. It was around that time I found a video on YouTube from somebody called Just Some Guy, who was just some cool guy until we actually found out he's probably a you know creepo that
Oh.
let's not talk about. Anyways,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
he made one video that was about this little indie comic book by the name of Common America. And at first, when I was looking at the video, I was like, so is this kind of like a parody of Captain Marvel? Is it a parody of Common Rider? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Well, the more that I was actually reading through Common America itself, like the series, um, the more I was actually invested by it. And the more I started to realize, American comics might actually be interesting to read. because I didn't care about American comics considering a lot of the BS that was going on in them. Around the time, I'd also watched guys like Gary from Nerdrotic, Jeremy from the Quartering,
Yup.
when he was good, and a few other. Oh, Yellow Flash as well, Hero Hey. A lot of these people covered what was going on in Western comics at the time, and I was noticing a lot of it was either taking a lot of our beloved heroes and just basically bastardizing them, or it was taking uh the mantles that exist with these heroes and giving them to new people who
Y-
really didn't deserve them, really didn't earn them.
Yep.
Um,
America.
oh yes, that is America right there. And I didn't care for comics at all until, of course, I read Common America. And for the longest time, I was shilling the hell out of this thing. Hell, I can even tell you this
Yeah.
because I used to hang out with Cosmortal Comics a lot when like because he also goes by Hail to Lore. I used to hang out with him a lot
Yup.
on different Discord servers and whatnot, and I was shilling the absolute crap out of it. And this guy like skims some of the books, and he's talking mad shit about the comic book. Look, he's even saying it right there in the fucking chat, saying Common America was gay for years until I read it. Ronan wouldn't shut up about it. Yeah,
Okay,
and now you
okay.
ain't saying shit about it. Now,
No,
now you're
Common
actually
Ameri-
liking it.
Common
okay?
America is a fun time.
Oh no, it's absolutely a fun time, and
It's
like
a great
I,
read. And
I
it's not just what we're getting on the
I-
screen there. It's not all TNA.
right.
It's action, it's humor, it's America.
I get
it's
at first
great
glance,
stories.
I get at first glance people
Plus
would just
TNA.
be like, "Oh, it's just another possible Gooner comic and whatnot." But when you
Yeah.
read through it, it's actually far from it. So for starters, yes, we have the nice little fan service we used to get with comic books before. You know,
Yep.
this is basically this design is heavily inspired by Carol Danvers when she was as Miss
Miss
Marvel
Marvel. Yep.
with the black suit and the lightning in the middle and whatnot. But it also has a lot of heart to it. Like the guys that create this comic, Mark Pellegrini and Timothy Lynn, Lim, I believe it was, they put a lot of their own beliefs into the comic. They also even put their faith into it because Tim is a Catholic himself, so they made Carly a Catholic, and like they really respect the audience when it comes to this comic. They respect the average comic book reader. They absolutely respect a lot of what makes Western comic books great. They
Mhm.
also even pay a little homage to a lot of the Eastern stuff that they were inspired by because yes,
yeah.
of course, the art design is very inspired by My Hero Academia and other forms of
Oh,
anime.
it's definitely manga and anime inspired
Yeah.
for sure.
But it's one that obviously is sold for the West. It's one made from
Yep.
in the West,
Well-
and it's one made for the West.
Well,
and even then,
they love it over in Japan and Korea
yes,
as well.
I was just gonna say too, they have a huge fan base in Japan as well. Hell, to the point where they have 4 official cosplayers that that serve as mascots for each of the members of the Common Core. It's so great. Like they do it like full time.
Yeah.
Whenever they're doing photo shoots, whenever they're going to conventions, they do that full time for them,
And
and they do all the
They have a
different outfits.
website in Japanese. I believe they have a Japanese X account. Like their
Right.
influence is pretty good over there as well.
So when I got really into this, that's when I actually decided to try and give comic books over here in the West a chance again because I figure, okay, Marvel and DC, I'm not going to bother with them anymore. Boom Comics, who the hell are they? IDW, they're starting to go down the path. I didn't want to give any of the big companies my interest. So
Fair enough.
I went with Iconic Comics, and then around the same time, that's when the Rippaverse came out as well too, from Eric July,
Mhm.
which I happen to be repping with this good old Irish shirt.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
And now look at how big these guys are now too,
Yeah.
and everything. I remember following Eric July around 20. I started following him around 2021 because I was could roughly say I was a Republican at the time, and I had voted for Trump in the 2020 election. That whole thing played out, and then January 6th played out, and that's when I was just like, I don't know if voting is actually going to help us get out of any of these predicaments. And funny
Uh-huh.
enough, that's when Eric July showed up with his very anti-government perspective on everything, which I actually started respecting a whole hell of a lot,
Oh, for
especially
sure.
considering the fact that he himself is a Christian too. So that's when I started to realize, oh, okay, you don't have to bend to the government's whims and wills. You can actually, try and push back against that every which way and
Yeah.
slowly push for something where it no longer exists. Now, outside of course the politics, he himself talked about maybe I got to make my own comic book company just so that way we don't have to deal with the bullshit that exists in Marvel and DC. Lo and behold, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Rippaverse
I
Comics
mean, and
exists.
and it's what, 3+ years, and now I just counted 19 different books available for pre-order, all
Mhm.
releasing between the middle of June, the beginning of June, and the end of October.
Dude is on
Like
the
that
grind.
is, yeah, they are starting to really ramp crap up there,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's exciting. I just popped down a couple of the I popped down for a couple of these today. The Queenie's also actually I'm introducing Queenie into Rippaverse
Mhm.
with I'm going to introduce her by because she wants to read Hellbound Stagecoach. So that's
Oh.
actually going to be her. So for everybody who doesn't know, Queenie is Queen Comics wife. It's my wife. Go check out her channel, sub and follow to her as well. But she's been hesitant about wanting to read Rippaverse just because like she's never really seen anything that interested her. But then she saw postings about when they announced Hellbound Stagecoach. So Hellbound Stagecoach is going to be her introduction to it, and then from there um I think she's really gonna like Bloodruth. And then I have not read Black Eye Club and The Cursed, but I think that'll be the natural progression that she goes in, because she's into like a lot of supernatural type of stuff.
Mhm.
So stuff with like demons and spirits and monsters and
Right.
whatnot. So I really think that'll be the way for her. Now, I mean, I enjoy that stuff too, but that's really
Yeah,
her bread and
definitely.
butter. But so you were on board with Rippaverse from go,
Yes.
basically. Well,
Uh,
all right. So then my question for you is, because I mean, I appreciate Rippaverse and all respect to Eric and his team for what they've done and how quick they're growing and what they've been able to accomplish over the last few years.
right.
So you were a fan of Rippaverse from go, which means you read ISOM #1
Yes.
when it first came out. I gotta ask, because I mean, AP and I we had a discussion about Rippaverse a few
Oh
weeks ago,
boy.
Atomic Patriot.
Right.
So what were your initial thoughts about ISOM? Because I know ISOM is kind of like the most, I would say, divisive, but not because of like the actual character itself or what the character represents,
I no, I
but
think
divisive because of how
I
people feel about the when they read it.
right, right. No, I think I understand where you're going with it because
Yeah.
believe me, when I was there as well too when I Someone finally launched and people were reading it. I was there
Mhm.
myself when I heard the initial reviews that people were giving about it. Hell, I remember I was doing a podcast with another person a while back. I don't know if he's still doing YouTube channels, but he used to be YouTube videos or whatever. But he used to go by the Darkish Timeline. He's a cool guy, and we did a panel where we actually reviewed the first Isom comic with a few other people as well. We were talking about it. My initial reaction to it when I read it is that it is good for like introducing to a certain extent, introducing ISOM, introducing the world of Flora Spark. It's also good at basically putting you in the middle of this world where you're going to learn more about it.
Yeah.
You are going to know more about its history and you're going to know more about its future. But you're being thrust into a world where where heroes exist and these heroes are called excepts. And Avery Silman is one notable except who used to be a superhero by the name of Isom. Now, it's a good jumping off point. It was never meant to be something that was groundbreaking from the get-go. It's not
For
meant to
sure.
like, drop people's jaws as soon as they read this first issue of this brand new indie comic book from Eric July. That's not what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Anybody that assumed that it was going to be that way were already setting themselves up for disappointment. Now, I read through this comic because I wanted to actually start somewhere from the very beginning
For
because
sure.
Marvel and DC who have a million different comics and 100 different retcons and a bunch of different like start jumping off points. That's a good question though that Kreese asks is what's your favorite part of ISOM? Which is the most hilarious gotcha that people give because it's like, you know what? You want to know what my favorite part of ISOM is? I'll give you the fucking answer. When he's fighting Santuan, that's my favorite part. When
Okay.
he and Santuan are fucking duking it out in outside the club and then in the parking lot. And then they decide, okay, we're just gonna actually start duking it out in the fucking basketball court. All right, here we go. Let's do this shit.
Yeah. See, I was late to the party on Rippaverse. I picked up ISOM #1 and I read it for the first time. Uh
What'd
Probably
you
a
think?
little over a year
What'd you-
ago, probably right
Mhm.
around the time that I started the channel initially.
Okay,
Um, Now I had the luxury of like there was also Alpha Core and Yaira out there
right,
as well at the time,
right.
but I started with ISOM because it was my understanding that ISOM was the first book in the franchise and everything like that. So I started with that. Now, see, ISOM #1 and AP and I talked about this. Topic Patriot and I talked about this a couple weeks
Right.
ago. I was able to appreciate the fact that it was somebody who had never been involved in writing comics before. And when I took that into consideration, I was able to I was able to at least appreciate the effort he put into the story he was trying to tell.
Okay.
But I will say that if there were not other books available, I probably would not have been as eager to read more if it was just ISOM and nothing else available at the time, just because
Mhm.
it didn't
Resonate
really
with you.
grab me. Like ISOM #2, I felt was better, and I was able
Mhm.
to enjoy ISOM #2. I was able to actually enjoy ISOM #2 a decent amount. So like that kind of helped a little. But that wasn't even until I didn't get ISOM #2 until a couple months later because it was around the time ISOM #2 was coming out, I think.
Right.
Um, but
No, see what
but for in ISOM #1 specifically, my favorite part was when we got Yaira and Alpha Core introduced
right,
because it
okay.
helped lay the groundwork for that there is something bigger.
Yes.
He has more in mind. And because I read that and because I saw that he had an Alpha Core book and a Yaira book already out and ready to read, that's when I was like, okay, let me give these a chance because these are interesting characters. I want to know more about them.
Mhm.
I mean, but it definitely is not the perfect is definitely not the perfect franchise launching book. But again, that's also you take into consideration that this is a guy that is just giving it a shot on his own, never wrote a comic before or anything like that. He's just a dude that loves comics and wanted to do his own thing. So like I was able to appreciate that. So I didn't have in my mind, oh well, I'm gonna dump all over this and this is the worst thing, because it's not like I'm expecting it for somebody that either A has been doing indie comics for years or
Mhm.
B somebody who is an industry veteran that decided to go off on their own and do something.
Okay,
So
so the thing is that he has actually ghostwritten before. Like not comic books specifically, but he does also do a little bit of ghostwriting on the side. Now he's done
yeah.
ghostwriting for like either music or for some scripts and other things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
No
Well,
one really
I meant
knows for sure.
specifically for comic
Right, no,
books.
for comics, yeah, he's never really written anything for comics. The one thing that I can give him respect for is that even though he doesn't have that experience,
Yeah,
and I know some people could say like, "Oh, well, just knowing the thing doesn't translate into experience," but the fact that he has an extensive knowledge on comic books because he himself is a big comic book fan and has read
exactly.
a huge collection of comics, to a certain extent, I believe that he would have an understanding of how comic books are meant to be written. And even then, um,
I'm getting there, Cosmortal.
oh man. And even then, like he would decide that even though he has a understanding of how comics should be written, he also wants to try and do
Yes.
things himself in a unique way. That's one of the and that's one of the other beauties about the Rippaverse as well too. Like you were mentioning before, the first I saw, not a
Yeah.
great franchise jumping off point, but the fact that there was Alpha Core and
Mhm.
Yaira available at the time when you were starting,
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
biggest beauty of it, is that you had options. You had multiple options when you were first jumping into it. So
yep.
if ISOM wasn't something you wanted to start with, you can just jump right into Alpha Core. If Alpha
Oh, for
Core
sure.
was something you didn't want to, just go into Yaira
Yeah,
or
like if those
Horseman.
yeah, I probably would have been more critical if that wasn't my situation.
Right.
But even then, even if it only was ISOM, I still like I'm not gonna crap all over anybody putting out their own indie comic because I mean, A, that's a lot of courage, B, capital, and C, it takes balls to do it, and it's something that they're wanting to do. I'm not gonna crap on anybody for trying to do something that they want to do and giving it a shot.
Right.
So I was able to respect it even though I wasn't the biggest fan of it. But
Right, of
yeah,
course.
Alpha Core, I really enjoyed Alpha Core. But then ISOM number 2 came around, and then we got introduced to Sydney Bloodruth. I was like, oh, who's this chick? She's pretty cool. And then we had the whole scene with those creatures near the end of ISOM 2. It was like,
Yep, yep.
oh,
In the underground.
there's like some kind of like devilish fiendish like subterranean monsters and crap. Like, okay, cool, we're not just dealing with like him going after his former buddy because he's been beating on a girl, and
Which
the
now we're
family, and
going
then family drama with his sister and all that. Like, we've got some like actual heroing stuff going on. Like, because I mean, I don't mind I don't mind a comic that focuses more on the life of a character as opposed to the heroics of a character.
Mhm.
But like, especially if that's going to be your launching title, I definitely wanted a little bit more little bit more. Okay, like we got more backstory from him about him in ISOM 2, which was great. I wish I had a little more of that in ISOM 1.
Okay, I see what you
Like,
mean.
instead of going into like immediately like going and taking on his former friend who's this piece of shit dirtbag club owner. Like, I would have liked a little bit of maybe his back info about how he was like kind of a, not a disgraced hero, but I guess in his mind a disgraced hero.
Right.
And then from there go into, okay, well, this is what he's doing with his life now, and then
Mhm.
lead into the whole, okay, him and he's going to the club, trying to bring that girl home, protect her, all that stuff, gets into the fight, gets in that fight in the parking lot, everything from there. So it's not that it was bad. I wish there were some elements from number 2 that were taken and put into number 1.
Okay, no, fair enough. That's a fair assessment. That is a fair assessment. I can see where you're coming from with it.
Yeah.
I do get it.
Yeah, but ISOM 2 was fun. I enjoyed that. And then Alpha Core was a lot of fun as well.
Mhm.
Kreese goes, Eric told me he took a big risk launching this big universe, man. I'm so glad. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. He took a huge risk and it's paying off, and all the credit in the world to him. I genuinely I enjoy the Rippaverse as a whole. Now, just like with any brand of comics or anything like that, nobody is going to love absolutely everything. And that's
Right.
totally understandable. And I think Eric's even
He
acknowledged
no,
that
he said
himself.
that. He has
So
actually
like,
said that on multiple streams, yeah.
yeah, so it's not like he's out there going, "Oh, well, you should love everything about the Rippaverse." Like, he has he's grounded in reality, and he has the foresight to be able to understand that not everybody is going to like everything, and that is okay.
And
And even more respect in the world to him for that.
the fact that he's expanded the writing team and the art team to so many different people, like, just goes to show that with this franchise, there's something for everybody. There is
Mhm.
going to be something for everyone,
Oh,
which
for
was
sure.
just fantastic. Like, I was waiting a long time for a Superman type character to finally show up, and then it did with Zalen. Now,
Yeah. Okay.
I'll admit, I haven't had the chance to actually pick up Zalen just yet. I've been a
Oh,
little
I did.
behind when it comes to the comics, but I really do want to pick up Zalen and actually read that and see what it's like.
Yeah. What's going on? Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips says hashtag Wade Raid. Did I get raided on YouTube?
Yeah, the message popped up.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
Oh,
it said,
I didn't have YouTube open. I'm so sorry, but
yeah,
Wade Nation, thank you so much, brother, for that raid. I appreciate it, man. Holy hell, I got my first YouTube raid.
all
Woo! Let's
right, there you go.
go. Yeah, because normally I'll do that, but like it's an unofficial. I'll usually put like
Right,
unofficial
drop the
raid or
link and do
something
the
because
yeah.
I'm not monetized, not at 1,000 subs. I can't raid over to people, so like I wasn't sure because I'm only looking at the studio. I have the actual YouTube chat
That's pretty
itself on the
much what I
side
do
here,
as well
but
too. When I was streaming a lot on Wednesday, I would drop the link before Trigger Happy for Alec Baldwin's finger. I
Yup.
just drop the link in chat and then just jump right in. Though I wouldn't say unofficial raid because
I would
I ain't gay
because
like that.
well at least I'm not a closeted furry and a rage quitter. So
Shut the fuck up.
no, Real White Nation Gaming Clips. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate the raid. But yeah, and like Nishi says she loves Yaira.
Mhm.
What is it? Campia says justice for ComixDad. That's a great thing. We need to get that part of the Rippaverse. We need to call it Justice for ComixDad. It's a revenge title. And the main villain is Phantom X. That thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. We certainly will do. Everybody go check out Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. But like you were saying, there's a little bit something for everybody.
Yes.
Like for me, Horseman is my jam. I absolutely loved Horseman Welcome to Floor Spark, that kind of
Mhm.
intro book that we got for him. And Horseman #1 I read it. Horseman #2 I was late to the party on that one. Actually it's unfortunately on back order. And I was talking to somebody from Rippaverse support today through
Right.
email, and it's not going to be available until the end of July, unfortunately.
Ooh.
But you know what? That kind of works out because Horseman #3 releases in the beginning of July.
Ah, so you can read them
So it
back to back.
kind of,
There you
yeah,
go.
so that kind of works out. So I'm okay with that. Like,
I know that that Rippaverse also does the hero stash as well too. So like
yes.
what you can do is like throw these comics together. If they're on back order, then you keep them on hold until they're ready. And then once all the comics that you want are all available at the same time, then they all ship out together.
Yeah, considering there's this up here that they announced the other day, Exclave.
Yes.
They're calling it a team up. It looks like it's a team up between Gooding, Sydney Bloodruth, and
And I
Isom.
saw. Mhm.
And I mean, I guess you could, or a crossover, I guess he's calling it. I mean, when I think crossover from like different storylines that haven't intersected before, or like maybe even different franchises. Like
Mhm.
initially, when he talked about a crossover, what was it, earlier in the week or last week?
Yeah.
I initially thought maybe we were getting like a Rippaverse Iconic Comics crossover. That's
Right,
what
right.
I thought
I
was
got
coming.
no, I'll admit I got a little excited when I heard crossover as well too. I thought that was the case. But when I did see the covers for Exclave, I was like,
Facts,
okay,
Chris. Facts.
it's an in-universe crossover. This is
Yeah.
not as bad either. I am
So,
still interested.
I mean, and now, so I mean, granted, hopefully it's going to be an awesome story.
Mhm.
But like we've already seen Isom and Gooding interact. We've already seen Isom and Bloodruth have almost an entire second volume together, or like at
Right,
least
right.
half of it. Um, I think it'd be interesting if we got like Isom and Horseman and maybe like Salvage PI or I always fuck up the name compared to how Eric says it. I say Saurice or
Oh,
whatever
oh
her
no, no,
name's.
Saoirse, Saoirse.
Saoirse.
It's an Irish name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's I
Celtic or
always
something. Yeah,
see Saoirse. Okay, yeah, that does
Saoirse.
not. Yeah, I go based
Again,
off of phonetics, and that does not work for me.
like I said, Irish name. The Celts have a weird
Yeah,
pronunciation when it comes to their
uh,
phonetics.
dude, the Polish do too.
Oh god, yeah, don't get me started on the polls. Oh god.
Salvage of Bloodruth. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
actually,
like.
that's another one that would be pretty interesting
What
to
up,
see
Dave?
too.
Yeah, like if he wants to do it like with Isom and other characters, like because Isom is the flagship character, the one he
Mhm.
launched the whole franchise with. That's all well and good, but like I mean, granted, it'll still probably be a good story. I'm hoping that because we're only seeing Sydney Bloodruth and Gooding for now. Who
Mhm.
knows? Maybe once we actually get it, maybe we'll get a hint of maybe Horseman showing up, or maybe an Alpha Core appearance, or a salvage appearance, or who knows? Maybe even Zaylin pops into the mix or something like that.
Right.
Who the hell knows? So we just gotta wait for it to come out and see. But I was also very excited about Dirty Deeds.
Right, right.
I loved the preview that we got in Ripazine. What was it, 4?
I believe
Unfortunately, I
it
was
was
late to
4,
the
yeah.
party on that as well. So I am waiting for my Dirty Deeds #1 to come in.
Mhm.
But that is really exciting. And then also Arc Stream with Blue Shift, Andrew's character. That's gonna be awesome. Like there's so much great stuff coming. I love the Great War of Separation.
Oh god, I know I actually still have a copy of Great War of Separation. Again, like I've been busy as well, so I just need to have some time to be able to read that one.
Yeah.
But that and it was as far back as the first the first comic book in the Rippaverse, I saw 'em, right?
Yep.
When they talked about I think they made reference to the Texas military at one point, and at first I was like, wait, Texas military. Now, why are they separating that from like U.S. military and whatnot? I'm curious, and then that's when the the fan theory in me in my brain was starting to really like build up. But I did look up online, like on Google and like internet research and whatnot. Yes, Texas does actually have its own specific military that they do define themselves
Yep.
with, but the fan theory was still correct though, because yes, Texas did actually separate from the Union, and
Yep.
so now we have a comic book that tells us about that, which is amazing. I like the very idea that Eric actually wrote into his own universe that Texas itself seceded from the Union and is its own nation state. I like the
Yes.
very idea of him doing that because
Yes.
it
And
kind
if
of,
that happens, I'm going to Texas before it goes through.
oh hell yeah, I'd be doing the same thing.
But now see the Great War of Separation, I feel is like another thing that in maybe instead of doing ISOM, the Great War of Separation would have possibly been also another like great thing to launch this franchise and this world and this
Right.
universe with,
Well, no, well,
because it
so,
lays the history of the foundation of the
no,
world.
no, of course, but see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, because I kind of appreciate the way that ISOM handled it, where it starts
Oh, for
like
sure. Oh no,
he's using, of course, the use what how do I
I'm just
put it?
saying as an alternative. That's all.
Oh no, yeah, fine.
No,
As
I like how ISOM handled like introducing the world and introducing that
right.
people with superpowers exist and
I
Alpha Core and who's this blonde chick that just beat up ISOM for no good
yeah, of course.
reason. And
I'm just
so
saying for me, I like the idea that you're kind of like thrown right in the middle of it. And then, you're seeing a lot of it, and then
mhm,
you slowly start to get some time as to like really understand what's going on in
yeah,
this world.
he
That
definitely took a chance by doing that with ISOM
yes.
though, because like establishing something brand new with his own, not even going through anything like Image Comics or another like publisher owned or a creator owned
Right.
publisher, like a creator friendly publisher like Image or IDW, something like that. Like he
Right.
did it completely on his own, so like that was a big gamble to be like, hey, this is the book, this is what I want to produce to all you guys. Hopefully, you'll get hooked into what I'm trying to build here.
To be
So,
honest,
like,
like
the Great War of Separation would have been probably a safer route to take,
right.
but the
Okay.
way he handled it all in ISOM was pretty good.
I mean, like for me, the way that I was inspired, because to be honest, the dude has inspired me in a whole lot of different ways. But for me, the inspiration I got from how he handled the starting of the comic book is so for now, all I can do is just show this. This is just a simple notebook, but in this notebook is basically my own little graphic novel universe as well, too. I'm trying to build my own just because of how much this guy's really inspired me.
Oh yeah,
And the other thing too, it's not just him. Well, it's more him, but there was a catalyst for it. There was I'm trying to remember exactly what comic book it was. I believe it was Superman Red and Blue is what it's referred to, and it's supposed to be sort of a alternate retelling of World's Finest,
okay,
DC's World's Finest with Superman and Batman. And in that storyline, Superman gets depowered, gets captured by I forget exactly what nation it's supposed to be, but it's supposed to be some kind of rip on an Eastern European nation, like either uh, Russia or Georgia or those kinds of like Soviet satellite states,
yeah,
basically, right? But he gets depowered, gets thrown in the cell, and they even heavily, heavily allude to Superman having been castrated while he was imprisoned there. So when I had heard that, that's when I immediately decided that I don't ever want to touch anything that's DC or Marvel ever again.
mhm,
Because if the writers are going to handle the literal big blue Boy Scout and beacon of hope that is Superman like that,
yep,
I don't want them anywhere near my eyes. I don't want them near, you know, God willing, one day I have children. I don't want them anywhere near my children's eyes either.
no, for
I
sure.
don't want anybody else to have to read this kind of stuff. I want people to abandon Marvel and DC because they themselves have abandoned our heroes and they've abandoned the fan base.
Yeah, for me, it was a mix of obviously Spider-Man One More Day,
Oh
that
God,
that
yeah.
that put Marvel on my shit list permanently, but then also it was when they made Iceman gay.
Yep,
That 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 kind of
mhm,
did it for me, and I was like,
that's
I
another
mean,
one.
I would still check out Marvel stuff here and there, but I kept it strictly to things from writers that like I knew, or at least thought I knew, wouldn't dabble into that crap, and things that seemed kind of on the safe side, steering away from the message and all that bullshit and everything. But like, yeah, Fallout said, yeah, Marvel and DC died of woke for the most part. Yeah,
Mhm, for the
yeah,
most part.
Marvel. I'm officially done with Marvel now. Now that Ultimate Spider-Man is done, and they killed him in Ultimate Endgame #2 or #3 because
They
they couldn't just let Peter live and be happy and have his family life. Nope, kill him.
they've been slowly dying out anyways well, at least for DC's case, they've been slowly dying out ever since New
Mm,
52. Now they didn't introduce a whole bunch of the woke stuff
yeah,
in there. It was just very derivative and very uninspired storytelling that they were doing in that one.
Yeah. No, it's
Um,
been more over the last like 4 years that a lot of the DC stuff has been doing like the woke and the gay and the queer and
yeah,
the
I'd say
underrepresented and
I'd
the
say maybe the
white man
last 7
bad.
to 10 years is when they were kind of
Well, I'm saying
really
when
introducing that, but
well when
I
it
get what
came
you're
to my
saying.
attention, I guess, because I'm not the biggest
Okay.
DC guy to begin with, so that's kind of when it came across my radar. But yeah, Cosmortal Comics, yeah, you talk pretty much about indie comics, which I appreciate.
Right.
And there's so many good ones out there, but like you,
Well,
Ronan, I have like my own idea for a kind of a story in there because like
mhm.
there's some cool ideas that I got. My problem is I don't know where to start. I don't know how to put that on paper. I'm not a writer, but it's things like Rook Exodus inspired me to like start thinking about some stuff.
Okay.
Things like Phenomenova by Von Coleman started inspiring me for some stuff. Things
Mhm.
like Project Nausis by Paul Thayer started inspiring me for some stuff. When I read when I read Alpha Core, and then when I read Horseman Welcome to Forest Park, that stuff kind of inspired me a little bit. The indie stuff is what's been getting me excited about comics again. And
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, like Cosmortal, you do a lot with indie comics. I'm still trying to figure out kind of what direction I want to take the channel with now I'm back. Like I've basically just been doing videos about things that have been grabbing my attention, but like I do want to put more of a focus into like some of the indie stuff myself as well. I just don't know exactly how I want to do it moving forward, and that's the thing. But I mean, in the meantime, I'll still talk about stuff that I care about in terms of news about comic books or entertainment or whatever like that. But yeah, I mean, Rippaverse though is going to have a hell of a 2026.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Um,
they are.
and considering we're talking about channels and stuff like that, um, oh yeah, man. I mean, well, part of my we I could do like a whole separate stream one day and just have people on and we could just talk about like writing ideas and creative ideas and shit like that. Like I'm not a writer, but
You could say
like
you could,
we could do a stream about that just by itself,
you just
about like just be creative, having creative ideas, but then what to do next with those ideas.
you
Like
could say you can do a stream, talking shop about what kinda, comic ideas to throw out there. Yeah.
that's not what this is.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm just trying to
No,
throw a
no,
pun there.
no, I get you. I get you. It was appreciated. Now, well, in Talking Shop, the name Talking Shop came from because what I was thinking when it's Talking Shop, I mean, yes, people talk shop like mechanical stuff, sports, things like
Right,
that,
right, yeah.
hunting, whatever. Like, but I thought because I used to go to the comic shop and talk with people about comics and all sorts of things, not just comics, but in the comic shop. We were literally talking shop in the shop. So like that's where I decided to go with and use Talking Shop for this format and this podcast. But anyway, since we're now talking about channels and ideas and all that stuff, let's move on into Ronin's shop.
Ooh,
Ronin the
okay.
Crusader. Here, let me get it. Boom. There you are.
There I am.
Ronin the Crusader on YouTube, 135 subscribers, 97 videos. Also over on X, also part of For the Homies, also involved with the Golden Age podcast, also involved with Cole Hauser and the Star Wars prequels podcast that he's got going on. So Ronin, where did Ronin first come from? How did Ronin the first Aider get his start?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, I don't know about Ronan the First Satyr. That's kinda sounds like an evil twin that, came from, like, the nth negative dimension, whatever. I don't know about him, but
Well,
Ronan the Crusader, his starting off point, like I had mentioned before, was around 2021, was after January 6th, and again, like, had no idea where the hell to go with, like, the political stuff. And that's when, of course, I found, some interesting black man known as Eric July, and started watching his stuff, talking about comic books, talking about anarcho-capitalism, talking about music and metal and everything like that. And the more that I watched them, the more that I was actually inspired by this guy. And I was like, you know something? I kind of want to jump into YouTube because before I was kind of interested in trying to jump into film. I wanted to actually go to college to learn about filmmaking and everything like that.
Okay.
But while I was in a community college, I started realizing that I don't really need to spend thousands of dollars to get an education that I can simply get by buying a DSLR camera,
Yep.
grabbing a couple friends,
And
and
just
just
doing it.
writing a script and start doing it.
For
I mean,
sure,
I
man.
I mean, a lot of the greats have really done it the same way. Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg, they never really went to school for any of this stuff. They just kind of went and did it. And so I stopped going to college after that. I at least have my associates so I can get, some kind of good job out there because obviously jobs nowadays try to look and see if you have a degree. But I started looking a little bit more into YouTube because of Eric July, but I kept I kept like hitting a wall when it came to thinking of a name. Because before I used to go by Okami Ronin because one, I like wolves, two, I like the concept of Ronin. So I just kind of put them together. That was my gamer tag. That was, my PlayStation name, all that kind of cringy, young, fresh out of college, guy stuff.
And that's
and
how we
whatnot.
got this.
Shut the fuck up. But anyways, I was strategizing and theorizing and kind of planning with a buddy of mine over Discord. And I told him about Eric July and I told him about all this other stuff. And we were kind of like throwing names back and forth. I was writing names down in the notebook. And then that's when a realization came to me. I don't know, John. Just
John,
go
you
with
got it.
it.
Once we're
Just go
done with
with
the
it.
stream, John, you got to go back and watch like the first like 5 minutes after the waiting period.
Yeah.
Just go back and watch it after the stream is over. You'll thank me later.
But there was a realization that came to me in my head with my notebook, and I realized that Jesus Christ, fuck you, Campia. Don't put that evil on me, you God. I hope God smites you down before he smites me down, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, a realization had come into my head, and that was okay, hold on. Ronin is a thing that's going to stay because I absolutely love the concept of the Ronin,
Mhm.
masterless samurai, just warriors that don't have a leader to them. But I was looking at it from a more romanticized perspective because Ronin in history actually were more like vagabonds. They were criminals that just went out and just kind of did what they did because they had no other choice.
Okay.
But I had a romanticized perspective of them because of the tale of the 47 Ronin who
Yep.
lost they lost their own master, their own shogun from their own daimyo is the term. So their own lord basically. They lost their own lord because of disrespect and dishonor that had come upon him, but it was something that was outside of his control. So these same 47 Ronin decided that they would try and regain their lord's honor by taking revenge. That's why I like the concept of Ronin because of that whole story that
No, it
exists.
makes sense.
And then
Also, the Japanese are very honorable and very based. So
yes. And it also kind of fits with the fact that I like, anime and Japanese culture and all that stuff. But
we
the other thing too, shut up. The other thing too was, well, what else? Because I'm also a Christian
Mhm.
and I absolutely respect my faith. And not to say too much because I already said a bunch on like your wife's show on Queenie's channel. Let's just say that my faith is kind of the reason why I'm even here in the first place. Because if it wasn't for that, I probably would not be sitting here at all doing this, interview or this chat and whatnot.
Mhm.
But I started realizing, okay, Crusaders also from a romanticized perspective were righteous warriors that fought against invading armies that were
Mhm.
taking over the lands belonging to God and then they went forth and actually freed the Holy Land as well. Now, of course, barring all the other crusades that happened in history aside, let's
Yep.
let's not discuss that. Again, a
It's all bad.
romanticized perspective of a crusader as well. And that's when I realized, what if I combine the two?
Mhm.
And ever since then, Ronin the Crusader was born.
Yeah. And I also like the mixture of the Eastern world and the Western world as well.
Yes, absolutely. So you have a warrior that has no master except for the Most High and is on a quest for righteousness and all that kind of stuff, whatever. That's basically what
Fair
I
enough.
came to when it
Fair enough.
came to the name. But I started off with gaming streams instead because
Yep.
the one thing I loved the most was doing gaming. I started off on Twitch by streaming Elden Ring. That was the first ever game that I streamed, which
Okay.
was a good choice, I would say, because I absolutely loved playing through Elden Ring. And ever since then, I started expanding on other games as well too. I played a little bit of the remaster of Destroy All Humans. I played through some of the Yakuza games. I played through a lot of the Resident Evil games.
Yep.
I
Including
also
most recently, you played through Requiem.
Yes, I am still playing through Requiem. And I've also played through games like Stellar Blade. I'm also playing through what else? What else? A couple other ones. Oh, well,
Yep.
I'm also playing
E33.
through yes, I'm also playing through Expedition 33 currently. And I'm also playing through the original Fallout with the intention of actually going to play all the Fallouts. Like 1, 2, Tactics, 3, New Vegas, even 4, but 4 is gonna have the little asterisk where heavily modded Fallout 4 because it's probably the best way I can actually enjoy it.
Timu Wade Nation. Timu.
Team But outside of that, I am also still trying to make my very first video for the channel. Now,
Mhm.
the channel already does have a video, which is a re-upload of a Fallout stream because Streamlabs was being really, really annoying. Which thank God I finally switched over to OBS, and I didn't even realize how seamless the switch could be.
Oh yeah,
But
man.
OBS
I,
is
I
like
love using it for gaming.
it's a godsend for me now at this point. But I'm still working on the very first video, which is going to be an in-depth analysis and review of the very first Godzilla movie. Because
Okay.
the biggest, nerdiest niche that I have that I really enjoy happens to be Godzilla. I have watched Godzilla since I was maybe no, not even 4 years old. And my parents can even attest to this. When I was 5 years old and we went to Colombia for vacation, I brought my copy of the 1998 Roland Emmerich Godzilla with me, and I watched it over and over while I was over there. And my family, who only spoke
That's
Spanish,
real quick.
I,
That's the
I
Matthew Broderick
know,
one, right?
yes, it's the Matthew Broderick one. I understand now how
Now,
wrong I
see
was when I was a
that's how
child.
bad it was that I had to ask you to make sure that that was the one it was because it's
But
so bad and forgettable.
but let me go ahead and finish the
Shame on you,
story.
child Ronin. Shame on you, young Ronin.
When I was when I
Dishonor
was
on you. Dishonor on your cow.
when I was 6, however, a year later, and I was
Oh,
back home,
year makes a difference.
my town had a flea market every Sunday, and there was one little booth at the flea market that was a bunch of Godzilla stuff, and that's when I saw Godzilla 2000, and that was the first ever true Godzilla movie that
There
I
you go.
watched. Uh-huh.
I thought so highly of you, Cosmortal. I thought so highly of you.
Look, if you don't
Well,
think about it as a Godzilla film, it is kind of fun. Just think about it as a weird remake of The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. That's the best way you can look at it,
yeah,
and you can enjoy it.
but then they say the name Godzilla, and then we all just sit there and go,
That is one big pile of shit.
but no, I hear you. And
Right.
if you ever want to talk Godzilla, by the way, Queenie loves Godzilla.
Oh, nice.
She absolutely
Very
loves
nice.
Godzilla. She loved watching. She almost cried when we watched Godzilla -1 a couple years ago.
Oh, man. You know
It's
what?
so good.
I gotta admit, when I watched -1 in the theater for the first time, that's actually the first time I ever shed tears in a Godzilla movie.
I
And
wish I could go see it in the theaters. I
and
didn't get to.
that whole film was a testament to just how amazing the franchise is and just how great it can actually be. Yes. But yeah, it's pretty much my whole life story.
Fair
Except of
enough.
course for the
Well,
furry
what
stuff,
got?
that's in a different dimension.
Well, yeah. But what got you involved with like doing like some of the podcasting stuff? Like, I
Oh,
mean, you're
that.
not doing your own, but like
Right.
you're part of the homies podcast. You're part of Isaac's Golden Age, or at least you're a panelist
Well,
on
well,
Isaac's Golden Age podcast. Now you're
the
doing
thing
this
is
podcast, the Star Wars podcast with Cole
that
Hauser and
that all
Phyllis.
started with I would say MegaCon 2024. So
Okay.
when I went for the first time to MegaCon, because I was hearing that like Eric July was going to be there and a bunch of the people from Geeks and Gamers were going to be there. I was thinking heavily because it's like, okay, how much money do I have at this moment? Can I
Yep.
afford to do the trip? And I decided on a whim, okay, I'm going to do the trip. I bought the hotel, I bought the flight tickets, everything. And then February came. I went. I finally had a chance to meet Eric July. I finally had a chance to like meet again because I met them before in 2023 in I think it was the Rosen Plaza, Geeks and Gamers. I mean, they had their own little meetup with Nerderotic as well too. So I got a chance to meet them first time around. But I met with them again a second time. It was really cool to hang out with them at MegaCon, and we were at the meetup at the Red Coconut Club. I started
Mhm.
making some friends, meeting some people over there as well too. And then 2025 came, and that's when I started making a lot more connections with people. I started actually making connections with Alec Baldwin's Finger, Naggardnall, Mo Zamboni, a lot of these guys, right?
The
And it was
GCA crew.
exactly. And it was Naggardnall himself that sent me a friend request on Discord, then sent me an invite to the GCA Discord. And from there, I started meeting a whole ton of more people. That's where I was also meeting, guys like John Ambler, guys like guys like Kreese,
Hail
guys
John
like
Ambler, by the
Phantom,
way. John, I didn't say hi to you earlier, Sarah. I apologize. John
yeah,
Ambler, the first mod on the ComixDad channel.
guys like Atomic Patriot, my son, guys like Phantom, the fat lesbian, guys
Yes, the
like
old
and
fat
Can't Be a
lesbian,
You fan as well too, right? I
the
started
gay
meeting all of
luchador.
them ever since
Doctor can't be in now.
MegaCon
Doctor can't be in now.
2025. I even met a MCU fan, good old Simpy as
Good
well
old
too.
Simpy.
And we were just all kind of hanging out in the GCA chat. Like we'd go in the voice chat every now and then and just kind of talk with one another. And I remember one time it was one night, Phantom was in the call, Campy was in the call, and we were having a conversation
We're getting
about
there, Dave.
we will
Don't
get there,
worry.
don't worry. We were having a conversation just about movies in general, like all the different movies that we grew up watching. Like Phantom was throwing a lot of like obscure stuff that I hadn't known about, but I was really interested in that he grew up with because dude's older than the telephone. So of course he's going to have seen every movie that exists.
Yup.
And so he's throwing things like the Ice Pirates, he's throwing things like Caveman, he's throwing things like Krull, he's throwing, all these different kinds of films that some I've heard about, some I haven't, but I was kind of fascinated and interested. And then of course I was talking about, some of the stuff that I grew up with. I grew up with Spider-Man, with
Mhm.
Blade, with The Dark Knight. I grew up with Inception. I grew up with like a lot of the Godzilla films, like, especially the Millennium ones, like 2000 versus Mega Gyrus, Tokyo SOS, Final Wars, all that kind of stuff. And we were having that conversation for maybe a good 4 or 5 hours in the chat. And the next thing you know, they sent me a message afterwards and they were like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing a show on our channel for the Homies podcast where we're going to talk about movies. Would you like to be a part of that?" And I
There
said,
you go.
"Okay, yes, absolutely. I would love to be a part of it." And that's when we had Matinee with the
Yep.
Homies basically be born
And the
because of
rest
that
was history.
conversation. Rest was history, at least for the Homies, because from there, they wanted me in.
Yep.
As
Matinee with the gays was born.
Now, as for Isaac, it was kind of a similar thing where the more I was hanging out with these guys, because they would always do like they do game nights where we would
Yeah.
play like Star Wars Battlefront 2, or we would play Halo, which was a lot of fun. We were playing
Yep.
Master Chief Collection, which was wonderful. The more time I was hanging out with Isaac at one point he was just like, "Hey, I'd love to have you on as a guest for the Golden Age podcast. We could talk to you and we could like talk about politics." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, definitely." And then the more time that was spent hanging out with him, he was like, "Why don't you come back on again as like a recurring host, as a good co-host for us? We'd love to have you on here because we actually have good chemistry
Yeah.
with you and a bunch of other people here on the panel. We'd
Which,
love to have you for that."
by the way, I do need to say the couple of times that I've been on Golden Age, you're not there. What the fuck's up with that, Ronan? It's fucked up.
Maybe I'm busy somewhere else in PA. Maybe I'm busy somewhere close by with Queenie. You wouldn't know that. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, you know what? Enjoy the headache. Enjoy the headache.
But again, the same like for Colehauser's stream, it was kind
Yeah.
of the same thing because I hung out with Isaac and everybody else on that panel. He invited me on for We Love the Prequels is the show that he does,
Yep.
which is great because Now this past year at MegaCon, I have a very good feeling that a lot of people within this circle and even outside of this inner circle, like a lot of the people in the fellowship and the 199, I have a feeling a lot of people really know who I am now, which is great. Like
Yeah, that's awesome.
every time Jeremy sees me, he's like, every time we're here at MegaCon, I always see him. I always see this guy here. Now, I don't think he knows me by name 100%, sadly, but he knows my face. He knows
Yep.
my face.
Yep.
I'll tell you who does know me by name and face, though. Ryan knows me from Arcade Outpost, and
Yep.
Eric July, for 3 years straight, has still managed to recognize me, which honestly is probably the biggest honor that I ever could have felt. That's fucking
For sure.
amazing.
Dude,
Yes.
and like I wish we could go to MegaCons. Like I was all gung ho about possibly going this year. It just
Mhm.
it didn't work out. Last year I was gonna go. Queenie had her surgery at the beginning of the year. That didn't
Right.
work out. So Queenie and I are hoping that we can get down next year. Cause
I
like I love, because that's the other thing. Like I so badly want to like be able to partake in the community and everything.
right, right.
Like some
No.
people know who I am, but that's not what it's about. Like I want to partake in the community so badly, but like I find it harder for me to do with having a 50-hour a week job, plus a wife, plus a family, plus a channel, plus
Right.
like I can't. I'm part of too many friggin' discords as well.
No,
So
I
like I don't know where the hell to start.
no,
But
I
like,
understand. I really do. And like genuinely speaking, I do feel bad that that can't be the case. I hope one of these years you and the whole family get a chance to be able to show up because I'd love to be able to meet you. Imagine a lot of the homies would love to meet you. And
you have no excuse not to meet us. You live the closest out of pretty much anybody we know from the different
what am I
from the
going
different
to do? Just
communities.
drive 2.5 hours into the middle
Yes,
of Pennsylvania
yes,
just so I can shake your hand?
absolutely, because it'll be the second biggest honor of your life.
Only if on that same day, and we've discussed this before, only if on that
Yes.
same day we go to Bucky's.
Well,
That's the
th-
only
that's
reason.
that's part of the plan. That's part of the plan is you come on out. We rent a car for a day because I'm not putting that mileage on my car for a day trip.
Oh my.
We're renting. Well, I mean, you'll already be coming out to me, so that'll be enough mileage. We'll rent a
Yeah.
car for the day. We'll head 3.5. We'll head 3 hours to the closest Bucky's, and we'll make a day of it. But no, man, I got to talk to Queenie, and depending upon how things are working out for next year, because I know MegaCon's at the end of May next year, which is
Yeah.
which is very unfortunate. But depending upon how things play out for the rest of this year and the start of next year, I mean, dude, who knows if we're able to go down without the kids? Like, who knows, maybe you just come on out and we'll do the whole. Like, I mean, you've flown. Queenie doesn't like to fly, and for me, I don't like this. I don't like to spend money. So,
I'm trying to
like,
drive next year myself because I
you know,
would really love to do the whole road trip thing.
yeah.
That's how
Well,
I
we
feel.
did the drive when we took the kids to Disney a few years ago, and we
Mhm.
got down to Orlando in about 13 and a half to 14 hours.
Oh wow.
So we stopped once for about 20 minutes. That was it.
Okay.
I went all the
Alright.
way. I went pretty much all the way through.
Nice.
Sounds good, Hidden B. Sounds good. I know. Well, I know Jay Drunk 3P. I know he's mentioned a couple of times doing like a Pittsburgh Pirates meetup. Like go to a Pittsburgh Pirates game and meet up. Do like a Hershey Park meetup, stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if those ever actually happened, but like those would be perfect for me. Like if the Fellowship or the 199 did some more stuff up here in like the Northeast or like the Mid Atlantic, like that'd be awesome. That problem
Yeah.
solved for
Yeah.
me and you and a bunch of other people at that point. But
100%.
but I understand why they keep it down all in Florida and then Texas. So I
It's
mean, it makes sense. But
right. Yeah,
but
it does.
yeah, but now, man, I mean, your gaming streams are fun. You're involved in a bunch of different stuff.
Yes.
Your work,
Absolutely.
your next thing is you want to get your first video out. You're doing things, and you're gonna do nothing but good things. You just got to drop being a furry, and then you'll soar. But
God. Oh, Jesus.
but so I think we with mentioning the furry, we could put a nice little pin in the in talking Ronin's shop. But so with our last little bit of time here, we'll talk about some other good stuff going on. Like, since we mentioned Godzilla, we got our first look at Godzilla Minus Zero. And I may get hit with a
boy.
copyright. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. So here we go.
their operation fails, maybe we'll finally get to use it.
Abort third drop. Repeat. Abort third drop.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this, man. You have no idea.
Yep. Oh, somebody got an upgrade. Somebody went to the gym.
And bro's coming back to the Big Apple.
Yup. If only that was 2026 instead of 1949. Take out communist New York. I'm okay with that.
Oh my
But,
god.
dude, well, here's the thing. I need to get a copy of -1 on Blu-ray. I do not have it. I need to find it.
Give me 1 second. Also,
Uh-oh.
damn you for this fucking profile picture you posted me with.
You
I
can
said I
change
wasn't
it,
gonna
you
turn the
know.
camera off, but
You
now
can
I
change
forced
it. But yeah, we didn't see -1 in theaters, Dave, unfortunately, but we ended up seeing it just when it hit Netflix is when we ended up watching it. But oh my god, it was an
Okay.
awesome experience.
So for me, because I'm a huge Godzilla fan and nerd, I actually have the Japanese edition of Godzilla -1's Blu-ray.
That's what
4K,
I've
and
been
DVD.
wanting. That's what I've been wanting.
So I believe this is still available in the official Godzilla store. You could pick this up. I think it's around $80,
Worth it.
$75.
Worth it.
100% worth it.
Does
This
it come
comes
with does
so
it
much
come with
stuff.
-1 minus color also?
Yes.
Worth it.
Absolutely it does. And
When we're done, send me a link.
and I also got lucky. I picked up the Amazon American release of Godzilla -1, which is also really nice. Comes in a steelbook case and
Yes.
everything. So I basically bought like multiple copies of this damn thing. But
that Japanese edition, does that come with English subtitles?
yes, it does.
That's all I care about then.
No, they made sure that for this re-release, like when it comes to this Japanese version, that it would come with English subtitles as well too. They made certain of that because they know now at this point, I believe Toho knows how popular, prolific Godzilla is internationally.
Well, and
So-
not just that, but also just a good movie that doesn't have a bloated fucking budget either.
right.
Because what was -1 made on? A budget of like what? I think like
10
20 million, 10 million?
10
Yeah.
million.
Yeah. And it's the best movie that we've gotten in almost a decade.
Oh yeah.
Arguably, at least. Yeah, watching it in sub. I can't watch a lot
The
of things in sub, but
superior
-1 I
format.
made sure I watched in sub.
And since Phantom is not here, I will shit talk him. And say, well, Phantom and Kreese, I know both of them are getting ready for the show, but I will shit talk both of them and say sub is the superior way that you watch a lot of these things, especially Godzilla. You don't watch it dub because you get some bullshit half-ass performance from the English voice actors when you can get that amazing authentic performance of Shikishima basically screaming in absolute terror and desperation in that same scene where he blows up the city. I don't want to spoil more because if anyone hasn't watched it, what are you doing with your life? Go watch -1 right now. Stop watching this stream.
I will say
actually, put this
we
on
watched
mute.
Yeah, no, let it run. Let's get ComixDad the watch hours. Everybody, by the way, just for like, I did the math, by the way. If everybody's willing to keep their computers running for 7 days, if about like maybe 30 of you, and even though there's not that many of you watching, if like 30 people run the ComixDad playlists for like 6 or 7 days straight through, we'll get the ComixDad watch hours. So
there you go.
Just be mindful of that. But no, unfortunately, we watched it in English because Queenie is like very anti-sub just because she doesn't read that fast.
Right.
But I'm bringing her around because we did watch the new episode for the new arc of One Piece in sub the other day, and she was able to pretty much keep up with it for like 90% of the episode. So she's coming around. Now, I'm just lazy and I don't want to read sometimes, but -1, I went back and watched subbed by myself, and it's a much better experience.
Oh yes,
Although the English dub was not bad. It was not bad English dub, but just watching it in Japanese with the sub is just the preferred way for Godzilla -1.
Just for me, it's just kind of I have a bad experience with English dubs nowadays, especially considering a lot of the controversies that occurred with like Funimation and Crunchyroll. A lot of the
Yep.
actors, they're either stirring up drama within their own companies, so they're trying to do it either to get some people fired or for themselves to get into a higher position of power in those companies. And then on the other hand, you also have the actors expressing their own opinions, which more often than not, are very left leaning, retarded opinions, which I
Yep.
just don't care about at all. Did you just fart, by the way?
Nope.
Okay, I thought I heard something loud. um, what was I saying again? Right. The thing
Or
with
or did I?
I'm starting to think you did. Anyways,
I
um,
probably did.
but anyways, the thing is with
Or
like
did I?
English voice actors nowadays, it's there's like maybe a handful that I might be interested in listening for their performances. Vic Mignogna is one of them. Matter of fact, actually,
Yep.
yesterday we were watching Dragon Ball Super Broly,
Yep.
and it was a really good performance. Which again, Sean Schemmel, say what you will about
You
his
caught
own
me. You caught me.
say what you will about his politics, and God, I fucking hate his politics. I really do. But Vic
Yeah.
Mignogna's performance was great. Sean Schemmel's performance was also great. Christopher Sabat's performance as Vegeta was also great.
Yep.
And they do the characters well. I will give them respect on that. It just so happens that a lot of their opinions and their political perspectives frustrate me to
Well,
no
2 out
end.
of 3 of them at least.
Especially for
Schemmel.
look, yeah, Schemmel.
Schemmel as a person is one of the biggest pieces of shit. Yeah, I mean, great that there's a lot of pieces of shit in voice acting, especially because of
Schemmel
how bad they all did Vic Mignogna.
Schemmel
Mignogna.
is an anti-Christian wretch just because of the fact that when he was growing up, I believe
Well,
his
it's the
father
last
was
name.
a pastor or something.
It's the last name, Schemmel.
Schemmel. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, I do understand absolutely what you mean. But most of the time now I just kind of watch I just kind of watch a sub anime whenever I have a chance to. If it's dubbed though, it's going to be a lot of the older stuff back when before I understood any of this kind of stuff. Like for example, I'm actually
This
rewatching
this is ComixDad lore now. Fuck.
for example, recently I've actually been rewatching Ghost in the Cell standalone complex, and a lot of
Okay.
voice actors in that one do like a pretty good job, especially I forget what her name again. No, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. That's the voice actress
Yep.
for Motoko Kusanagi, the major. And she does a great job as the character. Because the interesting thing is that anime takes some of the characterization of her from the manga rather than the characterization that you see in the 95 film, because she's very detached in that film.
Yeah.
But in this one, there's a little bit more, spark of humanity in it, which is really cool. But um, right. My whole thing is just more so like subs in general, just because of the way that the dubbing industry is nowadays.
Oh
But I
yeah.
don't fault people for
And changing and literally changing some of the storyline just
yes,
to
and the
fit.
dialogue.
Yep, just to change some dialogue, to throw in some throwaway fucking virtue signaling bullshit lines in there.
But
I think there was one show that like they completely changed like the dialogue for an entire scene to spew some, I think, like pro-feminist, anti-man bullshit
so
or something like
two
that.
examples that can come up to my mind, and these two examples are like just prime examples, just because of how stupid it was. You had Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, where you had the one
Yep.
part, I think it was the character Lukoa showing up dressed up in like the black tank top and short shorts and whatnot. And Kobayashi was like asking, oh, what are you wearing? And she's like, oh, those pesky patriarchal, whatever it was.
I remember yeah.
And I remember
Something about the patriarchy.
the original dialogue was, "Oh, everybody was staring at me, so I just decided to change outfits." That's literally
Yeah.
what it was in Japanese.
Yeah, and then and here comes the virtue signaling. I mean, Crunchyroll is also
Yeah.
owned by Amazon though, so that's part of the problem right there in and of itself.
The other one too
Um,
was also Prison School, where they threw in some reference to Gamergate in there, which like that doesn't make any sense at all. Why are you trying to date the anime by doing something like that? That's the
yep.
problem that I have with like the dubbing industry as a whole, is because it's being run by a bunch of retards who have a hard on for communism and Marx, and they're trying to shove that stuff. I guarantee you, none of them have like
Yeah.
the basic understanding of how any of that stuff operates to begin with.
Yeah.
But they just hear that it's something that is, free stuff, Gibbs and all that, and that's what they're trying to push.
And I do find it funny that it's like it's not that they're not doing it with like the big things. They're doing it with like these smaller things
Yeah.
that they think people aren't going to watch to begin with for some reason, or like
Mhm.
or the female centric stuff too. They're doing
Mhm.
it with a lot of like the female centric stories as well. Like they're not doing it with One Piece. They're not doing it with Dragon Ball, with the Dragon Ball franchise.
Well, to be fair,
Like they're not doing it with the big IPs, which I'm at least happy for. But
you do have that idiot Hassan trying to push the One Piece angle at least to a
oh,
certain extent, but
well, yeah. They're that the communists, the communist left are trying to appropriate the straw hat flag as a symbol of the communist left. Like,
yeah.
no bullshit, no. Cosmortal, I agree. Let AI take over the dubbing industry.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I God, I lament the fact that that's kind of the crossroads we're at the moment. So like either dumb leftists that dub over these voices and change the dialogue, or AI which does it in a faux human kind of performance, which
Yeah. Well,
could be worse, but
have AI translate and then have actual voice actors just read the translation.
I would 100% be okay with that.
That like
I would
that would
absolutely
be
love
the
that.
ideal situation, and I am 100% fine with that.
Right, right.
But yeah, other than Godzilla minus one, though, there's some other movie news that came out as well.
Let's see it.
Let me just grab it real quick. Oh fuck, what window am I on? I'm on this one.
Oh, no.
Professional streamer here, ladies and gentlemen, but not really.
Highly
But
organized.
the Disney Corporation is making some employment changes. Disney has laid off their entire home entertainment team. As streaming continues to dominate physical media like DVDs and Blu-rays are no longer a major focus for the Disney company. That is a bad sign.
That's a terrible sign.
That is a bad sign. I mean, well, it's a good sign because it means Disney is financially hurting that they're letting people
Right.
go.
Right,
Because
no,
fuck
okay.
Disney. But it's a bad thing because we're losing physical.
Okay, it's a double-edged sword
Yeah.
because Disney is hurting financially, and that's good to hear. Disney needs to
Dave, die,
Damn,
Disney,
Dave,
die.
okay. Well, I mean, look, to be fair, if Walt Disney himself were still alive, he probably would be cracking skulls as soon as he went into the Disney building itself.
Oh, yeah.
This dude, like, for anybody that somehow doesn't know, but yes, Walt Disney himself was a prolific anti-communist to the point that he actually helped Senator McCarthy as well as several American representatives and senators on the House Un-American Committee. He actually helped and like ratted out a lot of these people. But anyways, it's good that they are starting to financially hurt. It's good that we are seeing that because at least then maybe they can start learning they should be giving their audience and their customer base what we're asking for. But based off of this post, we know that's not the case. Instead, they're going the opposite direction. They're deciding now because they are hurting, they have to start laying off people who are part of departments that we actually want to see continue existing. They don't understand this,
Yep.
and instead they're doubling and tripling down on the streaming services because they believe that to be the bigger cash cow than trying to sell DVDs and Blu-ray.
But that's the thing. It's not the cash cow. Disney Plus has been proven that it loses them money. It doesn't even make them that much money. Only now that they're increasing their subscription prices, and on top of that, they're running more ads than ever before now as well. Like, okay, maybe that's starting to bring in the revenue, but like before then,
ComixDad,
like
let me ask
Disney
you.
Plus was losing them a shit ton of money.
ComixDad, let me ask you, what's the number one net positive that's actually making Disney money? And I know you know the answer to
Hulu.
this. I was gonna say the theme parks.
Oh well, I thought you were talking about like the Disney Disney Plus platform.
No,
yeah,
not
yeah,
the
no,
Disney- I mean
the theme
for
park.
general
Well, no,
Disney,
the theme parks, but more specifically the cruise lines.
Ooh, okay. Now that I hadn't actually thought about, but the cruise
People
lines
are booking the
okay.
cruise line, and don't get me wrong, I went on a Disney cruise about over a decade ago.
Okay.
Or about it, yeah, a little over a decade ago with my parents and my brother. As a 21, 22-year-old that didn't really have any friends on the boat or anything like that, I was there with my mom, my dad, and my teenage brother. Like, I mean, it was I enjoyed myself because I had some things to do, but like now as a parent thinking back about all there was that there actually was to do on the cruise back then, and even more now, like the Disney Cruise Line is the bang for your buck if you want to do a Disney themed trip, because a 4-day cruise with the Disney Cruise Line, depending upon if you don't care about just going to like their own little private island in the Bahamas for like a day or and spend
Right.
2 days at sea,
Okay.
like you could do that and spend just as much money and have everything, almost everything included, as opposed to paying for a hotel at a Disney resort for 3 or 4 days and getting tickets for the parks each day,
Or no, okay,
and
fair
it
enough.
costs just the same or more.
That's no, that's a fair enough way of actually putting it. The reason I initially thought it was the theme parks is
But
because
yeah, the parks
again,
though do generate still a shit ton of revenue for Disney,
no,
but so
absolutely
do the
they
cruise
do.
lines.
No, I can understand with the cruise lines because, like you say, it's an all access pass kind of thing. It includes
Mhm.
everything. It's all included.
Yeah, you don't have
Lodging,
to spend an
amenities,
extra dime on the
food.
Disney cruise if you don't want to.
Right, of course. And then when it comes to the theme parks, you would say then that that's the second biggest one because all like, you have families that go together
Mhm.
buying multiple tickets, and then of course you even have the God forbid the Disney adults that are still trying to
Yep.
keep the damn thing alive as well too, reliving their childhood memories in a very, let's be honest, it is kind of a pathetic manner, and
It really is.
which
I
is
know
a
one.
little
I know one, and it's very
it,
like
it's a tad bit
it's cringy.
it's a tad bit hypocritical because obviously you could say the same thing for people who go to Universal Studios. The only difference is, of course,
But like I'm not making it
quality.
about my life. Like I want to
Right.
go to
No,
Universal, but I'm not obsessing over Universal.
no, and it's not just that, but like the quality when it comes to the parks. Like even Fallout Dave himself has
Yep.
mentioned it in the chat. The quality of the parks are actually starting to dwindle. The Disney parks, I mean.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
they're
yeah.
for
The
some
maintenance of the
reason.
parks is terrible.
Well, because they fired a lot of the Imagineers. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, and the reason I know a lot of this is shout out to another YouTube channel, Clownfish TV. They are
Us-
huge
Yeah.
Disney fans. So
So, see,
and
for me, it's WDW Pro in that park
mm,
place.
they kind of also cover stuff from
Yeah.
WDW Pro and Dak Park Place as well. But they fired a lot of the Imagineers from the Disney parks. So they're having a tough time trying to invent new rides, and they're having an even tougher time trying to maintain the rides that they already have. I think it was earlier this year, there have been maybe 1 or 2 fatalities that occurred at the parks. It's bad what's
Yep.
happening with Disney right now. They are falling apart as a
Oh yeah.
company. It's
Well,
terrifying.
and even this, we also got this happen. Marvel Studios was hit hard by Disney layoffs. They let go of almost their entire visual development and graphic arts team for Marvel Studios.
See,
But I think that's more because like they're spending way too much money on that shit over the last decade in terms of their movies.
apparently the budget for Avengers Doomsday, which will be coming out later
Yup,
this year, is somewhere around $700
I heard that too.
million.
Yeah. When you factor in marketing and everything, yeah.
You're talking
I think
about
they spent
trying
$200 million just for Robert Downey Jr. and the Russos.
you're talking about essentially trying to break even with $1.4 billion. That's the level they
Higher,
had. Higher than that?
higher.
Really?
It's about 2.5 times. Is what like the layman's is
Oh,
what
yeah,
like the
that's
layman's
true.
math is. It's
That's
like two and
true.
a half
You
times.
take
They
the
have to break
budget,
almost $2
take
billion.
the budget, double it, and then add about half
Yeah.
of that budget for the
Yeah.
marketing. Yeah, that's
Actually,
true.
they have to break $2 billion to potentially break even.
Jesus. Yeah,
If it is a $700 million production and marketing cost.
Marvel is well, I can't say Marvel's in the same boat because Marvel's just one part of the boat that is
Oh
Disney.
yeah.
Disney's in a very, very terrible boat right now that is rapidly sinking. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
how they're going to recover from any of this, considering
Well, but here's
what they have to meet
Well,
in
but this
order
is
to
a
get
good
out.
thing for Marvel Studios too, in my opinion, though,
Right.
because like these are people that they were not on contracts. It was not contract work. They were full-time employees of Marvel Studios. Now what they're going to be doing moving forward, they have a skeleton crew currently, but they're going to be hiring people based on the projects that they need worked on, and it's going to be a per project. It's going to be a contract basis. It's kind of like the actors too, where they're signed on for like a set number of movies or something like that. They're
All
going to do
right.
that with the visual development team moving forward, is what the understanding is. And that is the smart way to do it, considering how much money they've been spending on, especially VFX, for all the fucking Marvel movies. Like, it's ridiculous budget for VFX for the Marvel movies. Like,
Yeah.
look at Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. It's still one of the best comic movies to this day, and
Mhm.
it's what, 23 years old, 24 years old, something like that.
24 years old
Yeah,
now.
and
Yeah.
it has VFX in it, of course, but like nothing near the level that we're getting in the current day Marvel movies. And it's better than 90% of the Marvel movies. The Disney Marvel movies. So,
Oh yeah.
but
I,
but
it's especially hilarious too because you even have some of the directors making fun of the visual effects team as well. Need I remind
yeah.
everybody, of course, of Taika Waititi just absolutely lambasting the visual effects that existed in Thor: Love and Thunder. Like,
Oh yeah.
wow, bro! On your own movie, you're going to be just mocking your own development team on that. That's okay.
Yeah.
That
Well,
takes fucking
Thor Love and
balls.
Thunder sucked anyway. So,
Yeah, it did.
Christian Bale was the best part, and Taika Waititi just completely fucked that
Yeah.
with his directing of that, because like Christian Bale could have been phenomenal, and it could have been such a different movie if they like if Taika wasn't looking for to make it mostly just slapstick humor for the majority of the fucking movie.
Say what you will about Kenneth Branagh as a director, I absolutely appreciated what I saw with the first Thor film. If they
Oh,
kept
for
him on
sure.
as a director, you would have seen a Shakespearean style retelling of Ragnarok.
Yep.
Like, that would have been absolutely amazing.
Oh, it would have been. And also, besides Marvel Studios, Marvel Comics is getting hit as well. But
'Cause Mortal Kombat's going through
unfortunately,
that, yep.
it is not they're not getting hit as hard as I would like to see them get hit. They're losing just a handful of editors and a senior executive. One of them is David Gabriel, who's been with the company for over 23 years.
Mm.
Now this part, Cosmic Book News say it's also reported that editor Devin Lewis has been let go, who recently was behind this month's issue of Daredevil #1, which sold 300,000 copies. Selling 300,000 copies doesn't mean shit, because that doesn't, it's like with the video games industry saying like, oh well, we had like what is it, Assassin's Creed Shadows, oh 3 million players, yeah, but they didn't sell 3 million copies. In the
Right.
comic book industry, it's the other way around. Like, yeah, they sold 300,000 copies to comic book stores. That doesn't mean that those comic book stores sold
Those
300,000
copies, yeah.
copies.
It doesn't quantify as a sale to an
Exactly.
individual comic book reader, yeah.
Exactly. Sales in the
Well,
comic book
that's the
industry is based on, they based
that's
on how many units they sell to a store, not
right.
how many
No,
units are bought by
that's
actual
the
customers.
problem with the metric that they're using nowadays when it comes to comic book sales, especially with these big companies. That's why one of the things I'm super appreciative of, and like, bringing back Rippaverse,
Yeah.
you see the actual sales on the website. Every time these guys are selling a specific comic book, you see the number of comics sold, you see the amount, the total gross
Yep.
like amount that they've earned from the sales, and you see, like, you actually see these numbers.
Yeah.
The
Well, and
numbers
it's
are
also direct to
transparent.
consumer as well.
Yes. No, that's the thing I appreciate the most. Is that it's direct to consumer. There's no third party or middleman that's kind of coming in the
Yeah.
middle of it taking a cut. That's what happened before with like Diamond Publishing. That
Yep.
that was a big issue that was going on with Marvel and DC
Yep.
before, was with Diamond Publishing.
And
Now
then
the
and Diamond Publishing almost monopolized it, and then turned it into a monstrosity that completely fucked the comic book industry.
yeah.
And then now that Diamond Publishing is effectively gone, like now Marvel and DC are kind of like scrambling to pick up the pieces and figure out what they're going to do now.
Well, looks
Um,
like they're having a really tough time with it.
yeah, well, and again, 300 copies sold does not mean 300,000, or 300,000 copies
R-
sold does not mean 300,000 readers.
Yes.
So like, oh well, Devin Lewis has been let go. Oh, shock and awe. Probably not big shock and awe, because how many people actually read Daredevil #1 this month?
Right.
Pr-
Yeah.
Probably 30,000 people.
And again, not to get into the real nitty-gritty of it, but
Yeah.
like it says here, this month's issue of Daredevil #1. Okay, well, what's the actual Daredevil #1? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
The
and how
way
many
that
different Daredevil #1s have we had?
the way that they number it, I think the biggest culprit when it comes to this was fucking Captain Marvel. Like, how many times they've managed to try and reboot Captain Marvel, and there's like a bunch of different like Captain Marvel #1s because they constantly try to make that character into something more than people actually want that character to be.
Yep. And the shame of it is though, is like I said, not enough people were let go at Marvel Comics, and they let go of some editors that like nobody really gives a shit about for the most part. Like Darren Shawn, Devin Lewis, who we just talked about, Lauren Bysom, Timothy Chang, David Gabriel, their senior VP of print and sales and marketing. Those are the people that were let go from Marvel Comics. Not some of these ridiculous dumbass activist writers, and especially not some of these other editors that are probably the biggest proponents in terms of why people are not reading Marvel Comics anymore. Like this piece of shit,
Yeah.
CB Cebulski. Fuck him. But not also CB Cebulski is still there, but also Tom Brevoort is still there as well. Remember when about a month ago, not a month ago, about a year ago or so, Tom Brevoort came out and saying, hey, you could always stop reading comics if you don't like what we're doing. And also he came out more recently and said something similar again. No, something about pissing off, like if they're not making the fan base angry, then they're not doing their jobs or something like that.
Can I ask, is he taking his writing cues from Kelly Sue DeConnick? Because if that's the case, he's making a terrible, piss poor decision.
Well, fortunately, he's not writing. If he was writing, it'd probably be even worse. But
Yeah,
he's
okay.
editing. Him and CB Cebulski are two of the biggest fucking issues at Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
And if the two of them were to go, I think Marvel Comics would be in a potentially better spot. But of course, those two missed the chopping block. Of course.
Christ.
But
I
we're
don't
gonna.
know. I don't
No,
get
go
it,
ahead.
man. No, I was just gonna say, I just simply don't get it. I understand, from a logical standpoint, why comics are in the state that they're in right now. I understand why. I'm just saying there are easy ways that you can make money, but they vehemently choose not to because they are so steadfast in wanting to basically, scare away the fan base that once existed.
Yeah, for sure. But while we're on comics, we'll wrap up real quick with just promoting a couple of things real quick.
All right.
Everybody go check out Von Coleman's Phenomenova issue #4. It just got fully funded on Kickstarter after I think about 8 or 9 days being live, the campaign being live. Vaughn's a friend of the channel. He's actually going to be coming on in a few weeks, I believe.
Oh, nice.
We're going to be talking Phenomenova and a bunch of other stuff. And then also, he is also another fellow Jerseyan as well.
That is correct. He is.
Vaughn's a good old Jersey boy. We got to meet him a couple of times at a local con in Pennsylvania, and then at New York Comic Con we saw him there too and hung out with him for a little bit. Vaughn's good people, so
Very nice.
go support Phenomenova issue #4 on Kickstarter. Go check out all these Rippaverse books that are available for pre-order. I am the most excited for Arc Stream False Start #1, Dirty Deeds #2, Smuggler Stitch, and Horseman #3. That's just me. Those are the ones I'm the most excited about.
Great War #4 for me, I would say.
Great,
And Exclave.
Great War 4.
Yeah, Great War 4 and Exclave. Like,
Yeah,
I absolutely
Exclave will
love
be
the
interesting.
Yeah.
But and then also it was announced either earlier this week that Patrick Thomas Parnell of Riot Press Comics is doing a comic with art by Sergio Cariello, who is the artist behind the Action Bible that I've talked about on the channel multiple times before.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
For something called the Book of Enoch. It's going to be a Christian and faith-based comic book, but it looks like it's going to be kind of epic and awesome. And also,
I'd be
friend of the homies and friend of the ComixDad channels, Caro Brown is actually editing this for him.
Oh, okay.
So
I would be remiss, however, like again, this is just the Christian in me that has to say, Book of Enoch, depending on what your denomination is not a canonical book that exists in the Bible.
For sure.
It is an interesting thing to delve into nonetheless, considering that it talks about the Watchers, talks about Enoch himself literally just floating around like a wizard and whatnot. So, but I'm sure that the Riot Press version is going to be vastly different from what the actual
Oh,
text
for
do
sure.
say. But this actually, I actually really do love this artwork. This looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
I actually do want to check this out
Sergio
myself.
Cariello is phenomenal. Go check out the Action Bible. You can pick it up at Hobby Lobby.
Nice.
But yeah, man. And then finally, last thing I got, 40 years ago today, we saw the first Kamehameha wave by Master Roshi, and then we also saw Goku do his first one as well 40 years ago. So just a little bit of anime history there, but
Oh man.
we're coming up to the end of the show here. We actually went over time, but Ronan, I appreciate you being here, brother.
Absolutely.
Let everybody know what you got going on and where they can find you.
Of course. So if you notice under my okay, right there under my name, there's a link tree which has all of my different links. I have a YouTube which is Ronin the Crusader. I have an
Yep.
X which is Ronin the Crusader. Sorry, Kick that's Ronin the Crusader. My X is Ronin_Crusader 7. I can't believe I messed that up. But anyways, now that I've managed to sort out the Streamlabs and OBS stuff, I am going to get back to streaming. I know I said I was going to do it Wednesday. I unfortunately lied because I must clarify my work schedule has regrettably changed. So I don't believe I will be able to do streams on Wednesdays anymore. I will attempt to try and fit streams on Thursday nights that will lead into the For the Homies podcast. I will try to do that. But the days that I can guarantee streams at the very least, how you doing, Donna Hall? Oh man.
Hi,
And
Donna.
on the days that I can try and make streams, try and do the streams will be Saturday. And as much as I probably don't want to and probably shouldn't, I will try and do streams on Sunday evenings as well too, because I wanted Sundays to be my little sabbaticals where I would just kind of rest and everything. But
Yeah.
since I've lost one day to stream, I'm gonna have to get the other day to stream now for Sunday. But putting all that aside, right now, if you guys are interested, you can go and check out the For the Homies podcast where they have good
John
old
dropped the
MP
link.
himself. His name is MCU Fan. You can check him out as the special guest where they discuss a lot of similar things like we do here, like comics or pop culture, movies, video games, all that kind of stuff. Check them out.
For sure, for
And
sure.
as for me, you can catch me on my channel on Saturday when I will make sure that I try and do a stream. And I keep saying I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish Fallout OG. I'm going to try and finish it. And then after that, you can also catch me on For the Homies, where we will do the gaming streams on Saturday. I believe we actually moved it this time to a Saturday afternoon instead of Saturday evening.
I don't know, because all I know is that Queenie and I will not be gaming with you guys this weekend because we're going to be away. We're going to be visiting family. Queenie is also, by the way, guys, Queen Comics Wife is not going to be doing an episode of Ladies Night with Nishi Does Game with her co-host Nishi this week. There will be no Ladies Night this week because Queenie will not be available as we are going to be away. But yeah, man, go check out Ronin on all the things. John or Nishi, please drop the link to the For the Homies stream that's currently going on right now.
You can
Everybody
also
can head on
catch
over there.
me there on Sunday as well too, where we do matinee with the homies, where we talk about films, film discussion, all that kind of stuff. This week's topic is going to be 420 because we like that good old ganja. But yes, after that on Monday, you can catch me on Isaac's channel for the Golden Age podcast where we talk politics. And then that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah.
If y'all can do me a favor in the chat, whether you are or aren't, go and support and subscribe to this fat boy over here. It's a good old ComixDad. Go get his view count up. Get his view numbers up, his watch hours up, and everything. Let's get this guy monetized.
I appreciate that, brother.
Get me monetized as well. Get me to 500 subscribers and all the watch hours I need.
And Queen Comics Wife as well. Let's get her up there too.
Comics Wife too. Support all of these guys. Friends
I
of
am
the
mentioning
homies.
you.
Everybody.
Ronan and I are together mentioning you. I got you back. Ronan the Crusader. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
But we're doing outros, woman. Be quiet.
Bye, Ronan.
Bye, Queenie.
But guys, I'm ComixDad. You can catch me well, the next time you'll be able to catch me live on a stream. Maybe later tonight. I may be doing a gaming stream later tonight over on my gaming channel, CD's Arcade. Never mind, I'm not. The boss just said behind me just said so. So next time you'll be able to catch me is maybe a gaming stream on Sunday night, possibly. On my gaming channel, CD's Arcade. other than that, I'll be back here live next Thursday on ComixDad with more Talkin' Shop. Our guest next week is going to be very exciting. Not that Ronin the Crusader was not exciting, but very exciting. Igor Teixeira, one of the lead artists of the Rippaverse, is going to be over here for Talkin' Shop next week.
All right.
So that'll be a good one. But then other than that, keep an eye out. I'm going to be, when we get back from our trip, I'm going to be making a couple of videos that I really want to record. And then just keep an eye on things. Go check out Queen Comics Wife as well. Sub to her channel, all that good stuff. Sub to all the channels, all the people, all the places. But yeah, and then the last thing that I got here, ladies and gentlemen, Ronan again, brother. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Absolutely,
You're a friend and a great guest, and we should do this again sometime.
100%.
But my parting words to y'all are, and I've been saying it for the last several weeks now at the end of every stream I do on this channel. But ladies and gentlemen, always remember, Seth Rogen sucks.
Yes, he does.
Hi, everybody. Over on Rumble, I'm going to raid over to D-Day Cobra, Jeremy, who is currently live. And on the YouTube side, John Ambler dropped the link for the Homies podcast channel. John, can you drop the link for the current live stream they're doing? Everybody head on over there through the link. Tell them ComixDad send you. Tell them the Comics crew has arrived. And we will catch you all in about a week or so. Take care, everybody. Ronan, thanks, brother. And everybody have a good one. We're out. Peace.
Peace out.
So tune in, geek out, it's all in good fun. Talking shop with ComixDad, everyone. Let's keep the conversation lively and bright. See you next time for more insight. Welcome to Talkin' Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got, from ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene.